type of entity would you recommend for such a?
Okay. In the four parts of what a security was, the second part was as a common enterprise. And you notice I didn't use the term entity.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be almost anything
Mm-hmm.
that is grouping people together in a business structure. It really wouldn't even have to have a name like a partnership.
Mm-hmm.
You could just have two people doing something. You and I could do something together. I could say, send me a check, I'll take it to California, I'll buy the property, I'll do everything. That's an enterprise, and it's probably a security because I'm making all the decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Today, the structure that we find most investors using and most people who are putting together syndications is the limited liability company. We call it an LLC. And the attractiveness for both the sponsor and the investor in an LLC is that we both have limited liability.
Mm-hmm.
We're protected from having all of our assets at risk at any one time. As an investor, I would be at risk for the money I've invested with you, or any promises of money I've given to maybe invest if we needed a cash call, but nothing else. And as the sponsor, you'd only be at risk for the amount of money you put in the deal. And that's what a limited liability company does. It allows everyone to have this umbrella, this protection of limited liability.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, it allows me to vote. As an investor, there are certain things I can vote on.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have a say in what's happening. And that's different than the old days where limited partnerships were all the rage and everyone used a limited partnership.
Mm-hmm.
In a limited partnership, you as the sponsor, you'd be called the general partner. You had unlimited liability. They could go after everything you had if something went wrong. I'd have limited liability, but I wouldn't have a vote.
Mm-hmm.
So you were totally in charge, which didn't make me happy. You took all the risk, which didn't make you happy.
Right.
Some of the limited liability company, we solved that.
Everybody wins.
Yeah, you have limited liability and I get to vote.
Yeah, okay. So you're the author of this book. It's a whole new business.
Yes, I am. I'm 18 months in writing that book. Yes,
Oh,
I'm in the second
wow.
edition,
Oh,
Sophia.
wow. So tell us a little bit about this book.
Okay, this book was really written for real estate people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a real estate broker, and that's my background. I'm also an attorney, but as having been a syndicator for all these years, I thought I had some pearls of wisdom that I could share with people who wanted to get in the business.
Mm-hmm.
And I titled the book, It's a Whole New Business, because really being a syndicator is much different than just being a real estate broker.
Mm-hmm.
And half of the book covers details that sponsors would want to know: securities laws, entity structure, IRS rules, how to do financial performance. And then the second half of the book is examples of private placement memorandums that I've written for my clients on blind pools and specified offerings. And there's even a document in there that's a tenant in common agreement that the people who buy the book can read. One of the nicest things I think I did in the book is I put together a CD-ROM. And every book comes with a CD-ROM. And what the CD-ROM is, it's a representation of an online resource library that I built.
Mm-hmm.
Since I've written the book, periodically there are things that I come across. There are articles that I've read. There are new laws that come out. And I put them on the web. If you buy the book, you get a passcode to the web. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you what the new thing is. You can go onto the web, and if you like it, you can print it out. But if you don't need it right now, it's always in the online resource library. And the CD, that book that you're holding now, that CD is current as of the start of this quarter. Mm-hmm. Everything that's on the web is on that CD. New things will be on the web, and you have to find them there. But this gives you two ways to access more information, and I think, Sophia, I have well over 1,000 pages of information
Wow.
on the website that I didn't want to print in the book.
So where can someone pick up this book?
The easiest way to pick up that book is just to go to my website.
Your website.
And my website is group sponsor, one word, groupsponsor.com.
Okay.
You can also find me at Trowbridge.com, which is just the name right at the cover of the book.
All right, that's exciting stuff. It truly does appear to be a whole new business. Any parting advice for people looking to pool funds together?
Well, yes, Sophia, I think first thing, this isn't for everyone. If the people that are watching this interview are real estate brokers, full-time real estate brokers and agents, you'll find that this is different. Real estate brokers and agents, their activity in a transaction somewhat ends at the closing, when they've sold the person the property and the person goes off to manage it themselves. But as a syndicator, that's really when your work starts. Now you have all these investors who've given you their money, and you're responsible for having all that money in the property for as long as you own the property, telling them all about what's happening, collecting the money when it's available for distribution, and sending the money back to the investor. That is a whole new business for the real estate brokers who are watching this. And for real estate investors, I'm not sure every investor wants the responsibility of the fiduciary duty that they take on when they find that they have other people's money and now they have to manage it in an investment. Maybe one of the things that real estate investors should study is maybe they should be investors in other people's syndications as opposed to just doing it on their own. That might be something they should explore. But in any event, you're going to need to have a team with you to be successful. You're going to need an attorney. Somewhere along the line, you're going to need a CPA or a tax accountant. You're not going to be able to do this on your own because it is time-consuming and complicated, and it's new to most of us.
Right.
So that's what I think.
Well, that's some very good, solid information. Thank you so much, Gene.
You're welcome,
Thank
Sophia.
you
I had
for being
fun.
with us.
Thank you.
I did too, thank you. And again, for more information, go to groupsponsor.com or email me at sophia@flippinghouston.com. I'm Sophia with flippinghouston.com, where your flipping questions get answered.